This little boy came home from school looking completely fine, but within hours, his family would be facing a nightmare no one could have imagined. Welcome to Your Eyes, where every case has a story, and sometimes the truth is hidden behind the walls of an ordinary home. On May 1st, 2024, 4-year-old Brian Boyer returned home from school in Davenport, Florida. According to investigators, nothing appeared unusual at first. Brian had been at school, interacting normally, and even appeared well on school transportation footage. But later that evening, something changed. Brian became weak and unresponsive. His teenage brother noticed that he could barely sit or move properly and repeatedly pushed for him to receive medical attention. Brian was eventually taken to the hospital. Doctors discovered severe internal injuries, including a major injury to his spleen. The medical examiner determined that the injuries were consistent with blunt force trauma, and investigators also found evidence suggesting that this was not an isolated incident. And then, the investigation took an even darker turn. Police began looking closely at Brian's adoptive mother, Patricia Saint-Hilaire. Instead of simply explaining what had happened, investigators say she attempted to control the story. Her teenage adopted son was allegedly instructed to tell authorities that Brian had been sick and that his injuries were the result of an accident. But there was one problem. The teenager eventually told investigators what he said had really been happening inside the home. According to authorities, he described a pattern of mistreatment that had allegedly begun years earlier, including during the family's time in Haiti. He also told investigators that he had been threatened when he tried to reveal the truth. Then, investigators searched Saint-Hilaire's phone. What they reportedly discovered became some of the most disturbing evidence in the case. Videos allegedly showed Brian being subjected to dangerous and abusive treatment inside the home, including an incident involving the family's swimming pool. Investigators also described another recording that appeared to show the child being struck while he was unable to defend himself. Authorities chose not to publicly display the footage because of its disturbing nature, and that changed the entire picture of what had happened. What initially looked like a sudden medical emergency was now being investigated as the final event in what prosecutors described as a much longer pattern of abuse. Brian was only 4 years old. He had been brought to the United States from Haiti and placed in a home where he was supposed to be protected. Instead, investigators said the evidence pointed in a completely different direction. After the investigation, Patricia Saint-Hilaire was charged in connection with Brian's death, along with aggravated child abuse and witness tampering. More than 2 years later, the case finally reached a courtroom. In July 2026, a jury found Saint-Hilaire guilty of first-degree murder, 2 counts of aggravated child abuse, and witness tampering. She was subsequently sentenced to life in prison. But perhaps the most haunting part of this case isn't what happened in the final hours. It's the question of how long the warning signs may have existed before anyone outside that home knew what was happening. Because Brian didn't simply disappear from the world that night. There were people who had seen him earlier that same day. There was footage, there were medical findings, and eventually, there was a teenager who decided he could no longer remain silent. Brian's story is a reminder that sometimes the most important evidence isn't found in a dramatic crime scene. Sometimes it's hidden in the details people almost overlook. If you want more carefully researched true crime stories like this, follow the page, share this video, and stay with Your Eyes for the next case.